Hey, good morning. So if you saw my last videos, we put that little 12-volt battery maintainer on the mill and just zip tied it to one of the bunks, plugged it in and left the battery cover just kind of sitting on top of it. And I left and I thought, I hope that works, because the battery was getting weak. And so I just, came out here and I checked it yesterday and it was like 12.6 volts. It was fine. It was good. And then this morning I fired up the mill, and the mill just fired right up. Boom. Straight up, no problems. Running like a champ. It doesn't even act like it's cold. Now, it is reasonably warm out. I think it was 28 degrees this morning. So it's not like it was that cold, but it just fired right up without a problem. And the little red light wasn't even on. As soon as the mill was running, the red light was gone. So I'm super happy with that. The mill is warming up right now. We'll get it warmed up. I'll get these logs rolled over here and get the rails uncovered and scrape some ice off, and we'll get some milling done today. So now this time I actually brought my tripods and all my camera mounts. So I've got all my cameras and all my tripods. And then this morning, and I don't know how many of you have ever used GoPros. I've been using them a while, a couple years now. And my GoPro 11 this morning, I put a battery in it, and I used it yesterday, and I put a battery in it this morning, and it said not enough power. For me, not enough power. It's a brand new battery. I put another battery in, same thing. Put a third battery in, same thing. So I thought, well, this is weird. And I knew by then it had to be the GoPro, not the batteries. So I pulled the battery out, stuck it in my GoPro 10, which is what I'm using right now. And hey, it works fine. The battery's fully charged. Everything is good in the world. And so I may be down to 3 cameras today. And so that's just some YouTube side business nonsense for you. But we're going to get set up here and we're going to get milling. I do want to mention, I mentioned these high C boots that I got. And I get it, right? Just a quick blurb on it. They're not sponsoring me or anything like that. They just gave me a set of boots. And so far, though, I will tell you that I do like them. I don't know if they're going to last me a month or 10 years. I don't know what they're going to do. Boots usually last me 6 months to a year, unless they're like a Red Wing or better. Then I can get them for, a long time, 6, 7, 8 years. But I don't expect rubber boots are going to last me forever. We'll find out. But these are just short little ones that I can just slip on real quick and easy. So I like that. And so thank you, High C, for sending those to me. And for anybody that, is looking for an inexpensive, I think they're like 50, 60 bucks. They're not real expensive. If you're looking for a pair, you can use Eric 15. That's ERIK, number 1, number 5, Eric 15, to get like 15% off. And I don't have an affiliate program. I don't get a kickback or anything from them on those. It's just to help you out. So if you're watching the channel, you want to buy a pair of rubber boots or something from them, or any boots that they sell. I think they are made in China, so I'm not going to tell you it's American-made boots. I think it's an American company, but it's probably like Brunt. I've got a set of Brunt boots. They seem like a decent pair of boots. I'll be wearing them today when I'm working on the mill. I think they're made overseas in China, but it's an American company. It's common today. I hate to say it. These aren't white boots. They're not Red Wings, which, aren't even White's boots, but, they're not the best quality boots in the world. So I know High C probably doesn't like me saying that, but look, folks, the reality is you get what you pay for. These seem to be a great little pair of boots just to slip on and off when I'm at the cabin. My toes, they're a little bit chilly right now, but not bad. So anyway, this isn't a commercial for High C. I just thought I would bring that up because they sent them to me. So now back to milling. Sorry, that was your commercial break for the day. I'm going to take these logs, those 2 on the end here, these 2 on this side here, that's from that fungus killed Doug Fir. We're going to roll those up and mill those down. And then I've got those 2 Doug Firs. We're going to mill those into 6-inch D logs. And I've had people ask me, what is a D log? So I thought I would show you a good classic D log profile. So this is a D log, right? You've got the 3 sides of the D, and then you've got this rounded edge here. That's what makes a D log, and this is a 6-inch D log. Same with this one. Now you'll notice with this one, it's a little longer here than it is here. Well, that's because they don't always work the way you want. That heart is right here. That's not a good place on a D log. In one of my videos, I talked about how FOHC, free of heart center logs, I found they were twisting, frankly, as much as boxed heart logs were sometimes. And it wasn't all the time, it was sometimes. But sometimes a perfectly boxed heart log would twist and one that wasn't, didn't. And sometimes my free of heart center logs didn't twist, and sometimes they did. It's not that often, but I do find that it happens. So if you're milling D-logs out of Ponderosa pine and Doug fir, maybe you don't know what the stress levels are in the log or whatever. I don't know. They look straight. You mill them up. They twist a little bit. I say mill them at 6 inches, and then if you have to trim them down to 5.5, you can make it work, because the standard 2x6 is 1.5 by 5.5. So the other thing is, I do try to stack and sticker them. The stuff that's not stacked and stickered on the bottom is dry stuff. The stuff that is stacked and stickered on top, that was green. So they look to be drying pretty good. I don't see a lot of twist or lift on them, so I think we're okay there. So anyway, we'll get more of those built, get them stacked up on here, let them dry. And I've got a few other projects around the cabin that we're gonna do today. So I'll quit blabbering, we'll get to work. Stick around, we'll get her done. All right, here we go. First of all, thanks for being here. I'm finally making sawdust. Well, folks, you know, sometimes that's how it goes. Now, let's talk about this Douglas fir here. So these are the last 2 logs of the 2 fungus-killed Doug fir trees that I felled to the right of that structure, the D-log structure there. And you can't see where they are now, but they're kind of up the hill a little bit from me over my right shoulder. And those were apparently killed by a fungus. Now, I did a little research, and I've learned that there has been a bit of an issue with Doug fir die-off in the Northwest. And it appears that the general consensus is kind of a combination of, 1, some drier summers, but that happens out here. And 2, honestly, lack of forest management, folks. I know it sounds crazy. I think a lot of people believe that we should just leave the forests alone and let the trees grow and do their thing, and life would be grand and everything would be great. There's some truth to that, except that we don't actually do that. When we don't go out and thin the forests out, what happens is you get a whole lot more fuel in the forest, and a forest fire kicks up, and guess what? It gets really hot and it kills everything. Because we've been fighting forest fires the way we have, and we haven't been logging in the Northwest like we used to, the forests have gotten really thick and they've gotten diseased. And so, you know, if a fire comes through and we don't let it burn, well, guess what, folks? The fuel builds up and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And then eventually a fire does come in and we can't stop it, and it burns so hot it kills everything. So on one hand, you need forest fires to manage the forests for you. That's the natural way. Or you need logging to do it for you. And I think that's one of the challenges in the modern world we live today. Everybody wants to try and do everything green and natural and whatnot. The problem is we're no longer doing that anymore. If you're going to fight the forest fires, then the forests are going to become overgrown, they're going to get very sick, and your trees are going to die off. And the beetles are going to come in, and you're going to have huge swaths of dead forest. And rather than have a forest industry that employs a lot of people and maintains a nice healthy forest, what you end up with are big, massive forest fires that just kill everything in its path. And of course, the billions of dollars it costs to rebuild after them. And then we can blame all kinds of things. But the reality is, folks, that we need to take care of our forests. And that either means let them burn every 5 to 7 years, or go in and thin them out. So in this case, I fell these 2 trees. Both were already dead. It does mean that I need to watch my Doug firs moving forward, because the fungus that killed them can stay in the ground and travel to other trees. And if we have another dry year, although it wasn't real dry this last year, it was actually pretty good. And as you can see, I got plenty of moisture right now. But, you know, I just need to pay attention and make sure I'm in there thinning stuff out. So if you've watched any of my videos here at the cabin, you know that's one of my big deals, is trying to get my forest thinned out, do really good forest management, and make use of this lumber. And of course, in this case, these last 2 logs, these fungus-killed Doug firs, we're going to see if they turn out. The last one didn't. I threw the whole log in the wood-burning pile. It was rotten. It was badly cracked. It just wasn't any good at all. It was actually also so sappy that it was really making a mess of my bandsaw band. And I just used windshield washer fluid and Pine Sol and Dawn. And guess what? On this day, life was good. All right, I'm going to quit yakking here so we can get this finally milled up, cleaned up, and I can show you what I got. But I just wanted to pass on all that about forest management. Let's get her done, and I can show you what this looked like and whether it was worth doing. All right, well, we didn't mess around, did we? I wanted to get the mill warmed up. I noticed that after it had been running for a little while, my battery light kept coming back on again. And, when it's trying to run the hydraulics or trying to run other electronics, the guide arm or the debarker, which is all electrical, obviously the cold, even with the battery maintainer on, this battery's getting old, right? This mill's about 8 years old. It's only the second battery I've had in it, so it's probably 4 years old, maybe 5. So I think I need a new battery. So I'll have to get one before I come out, I think. But, as long as I was running full throttle and milling, it started to green up again and it was fine. It's just for some reason at an idle, if I'm using the hydraulics and stuff, the light starts to come on again. And obviously that battery is just not going to last much longer. So it is what it is, milling in the cold, right? You wouldn't notice it in the warm weather probably. But we got, what did we get? We got a handful, 3, 6, 7. Looks like we've got about 7 2x6s. They look pretty good. I'll show them to you. Let's go over and take a look. All right. Well, as you can see, it looks pretty good. I didn't see any major cracks. I cut deep to get through the punk, so I don't see any punk in here. This stuff looks pretty good, folks. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, I got a little bit of wane down there on this one, and there's a little bit of softwood right there, a little punky on the edge. I cut really deep though, so most of these are good and solid. I got a couple 2x4s. They've got a little punk and a little wane in them, but they might be good for some blocking material, so I'll go ahead and use those. But otherwise, they look really good. Those 4 there, and then I got these 3 down here. And again, I was thinking you might have seen them when I was setting them down, but you could see they look pretty good, eh? So all in all, I'm pretty thrilled. Now we're going to get this one up on the deck and knock that one out. So I'm going to quit blabbing and we'll get these 2x6s moved. I'm going to go ahead and drop a video right here for you guys to check out. And again, thanks for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. And hey, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. It really helps the channel out. Thanks a lot, folks. The old Jarhead out.